In the heart of a sprawling metropolis, where glass skyscrapers touched the clouds and busy streets pulsed with the rhythm of city life, an unexpected story was about to unfold. The urban jungle was alive with the constant hum of activity, cars weaving through traffic, vendors calling out on busy sidewalks, and the distant echo of construction sounds mingling with the chatter of passers-by. Amidst this chaos, a lone figure moved with a quiet sense of bewilderment. Eli, a young elephant calf with soft, curious eyes, found himself far removed from the lush, verdant landscapes of his former home. Once a star attraction in a traveling circus, he had been separated from his companions during a hectic transfer between venues. Now, his enormous yet delicate frame was navigating a world entirely alien to him. Every step he took on the cold, hard pavement felt strange, his large feet unaccustomed to the urban terrain. The echoes of his tentative footsteps and his soft, anxious trumpets created a poignant contrast against the city's cacophony. As Eli wandered down bustling avenues, his heart pounded with both fear and wonder. He marveled at the towering buildings that seemed to stretch endlessly upward and the dazzling array of neon lights that painted the night in vibrant hues. Yet, with each new sight came a fresh wave of uncertainty. The unfamiliar sounds, the blinding glare of streetlights, and the relentless pace of the city left him feeling isolated and lost. In this concrete labyrinth, every honk of a horn and every flash of a camera lens deepened his longing for the comforting presence of his family and the gentle rhythms of the jungle. Unseen by the hurried pedestrians, Eli's eyes wandered over the mosaic of human life around him, families hurrying home, couples sharing quiet moments on park benches, and street performers captivating audiences with their art. Each scene was a mystery, a glimpse into lives so different from his own. The city, with all its wonders and dangers, loomed as both a marvel and a menace. The stark reality of being an out-of-place wanderer in a world built for human dreams weighed heavily on his young heart. In this first chapter of his unexpected journey, the urban landscape stood as a silent witness to Eli's struggle, a vast, indifferent stage where one lost elephant calf had to find his way amid the relentless flow of city life. Little did he know that his path would soon cross with another soul equally destined to bring light and hope into his world. In a quiet corner of the bustling city, far removed from the chaos of downtown, there lived a little puppy named Buddy. His world was one of simple joys, a cozy home with a loving family, lush parks where he could romp and play, and quiet streets where he often strolled, his nose twitching at every intriguing scent. Buddy's days were filled with laughter and warmth, and his heart, though small in size, was brimming with compassion. Every morning, as sunlight filtered through the leaves of the park, Buddy would set off on his daily adventures. With his soft, velvety ears perked up and his bright eyes scanning the horizon, he greeted each new day as a promise of discovery. His keen senses allowed him to pick up the subtlest sounds, a distant bark, a whispered rustle of leaves, or the faintest murmur of distress. It was on one such day, amid the familiar cadence of city life, that his sensitive ears caught something unusual, a soft, sorrowful trumpet that seemed out of place in the urban melody. Compelled by an innate drive to help those in need, Buddy trotted toward the source of the sound. His tiny paws patted softly on the pavement, yet each step carried an unwavering determination. The closer he got, the more the sound resonated with him, stirring feelings of empathy and concern deep within his loyal heart. In the background, the city continued its relentless pace, but Buddy's focus was singular. He needed to find out who, or what, was calling out in distress. Navigating through narrow alleys and sidestepping the busy intersections, Buddy's journey led him to a quieter section of a bustling park. Here, under the dappled shade of ancient trees and surrounded by the gentle murmur of a nearby fountain, the mysterious sound grew clearer. The melancholic notes of an elephant's call, soft and forlorn, reached his ears, a sound so full of longing that it struck a deep chord within him. In that moment, the tiny puppy realized that the call was coming from a creature as lost and out of place as he sometimes felt in the sprawling city. With his heart racing and tail wagging in a mix of excitement and concern, Buddy quickened his pace. Every instinct told him that someone needed him, and nothing in the world could deter him from answering that call for help. Buddy's journey was not just one of physical distance, it was a heartfelt mission to bridge the gap between his familiar world and that of an extraordinary stranger. His mind filled with thoughts of compassion and his spirit buoyed by the promise of a new friendship, he pressed on, unaware that his act of kindness would soon alter the lives of both him and the lost elephant calf, Eli. Thus, in this chapter of his life, Buddy set forth into the unknown, his loyal heart guiding him towards a destiny that would soon intertwine his fate with that of a gentle giant in need of a friend. Buddy's journey led him to a quiet, tree-lined section of the park, a small oasis tucked away from the city's constant hustle. Here, amid the gentle rustling of leaves and the soft murmur of a nearby fountain, he finally came upon the source of that haunting trumpet. There, in a sun-dappled clearing, stood Eli, the lost elephant calf. The sight was both surreal and heart-stopping, a tiny puppy, full of energy and hope, facing a towering, gentle giant whose eyes were wide with both wonder and sorrow. At first, both animals froze in mutual astonishment. Eli, accustomed to the vast freedom of his natural habitat, now found himself surrounded by urban sounds and strange sights, while Buddy had never seen a creature so immense and unfamiliar. For a few moments, time seemed to stand still as they took in each other's presence. The elephant calf's long, delicate trunk trembled slightly as he regarded Buddy, who sat down cautiously, tail giving slow, friendly wags. In that quiet instant, despite the obvious differences in size and background, a sense of understanding passed between them. Buddy was the first to break the silence. With soft, inviting barks and gentle nudges, he approached Eli, determined to offer comfort rather than fear. Eli, initially startled, slowly relaxed as he sensed no threat from this tiny creature. The calf's soulful eyes, reflecting both loneliness and relief, met Buddy's compassionate gaze. In response, Eli let out a low, hesitant trumpet, a sound that seemed to say, "I am not alone." Encouraged by this mutual display of vulnerability, the two began a cautious exchange. Buddy circled around Eli, sniffing gently and ensuring that his newfound friend felt safe. Eli, whose days had been filled with uncertainty since his separation from his circus family, found solace in Buddy's warm, reassuring presence. The small puppy's persistent kindness broke down the walls of fear and isolation that had encased the elephant calf. As the minutes passed, the initial awkwardness transformed into a budding companionship. Buddy playfully pawed at the ground near Eli, inviting him to take a step closer. With every careful move, Eli learned that this tiny creature was not an intruder, but a friend extending a helping hand or paw in a world that suddenly felt less overwhelming. Their meeting was an unexpected convergence of two very different lives, united by a shared sense of longing and the simple need for connection. In that serene clearing, beneath the whispering trees and the watchful gaze of a calm sky, Buddy and Eli forged a silent promise. A promise that no matter the differences in size, sound, or origin, compassion would always bridge the gap between strangers. This unlikely meeting marked the beginning of a remarkable journey, one that would lead them through the challenges and wonders of the urban landscape, forever changing the course of their lives. With their newfound friendship blossoming in the quiet clearing, Buddy and Eli embarked on a journey through the city, determined to navigate a world that was as wondrous as it was intimidating. Their adventure began as they left the serene park behind and ventured into the bustling streets, where every corner presented a new challenge and every turn revealed unexpected marvels. The duo's first obstacle was the maze of busy roads and intersections. Buddy, quick on his paws and ever alert, took the lead, sniffing out the safest paths through the sea of honking cars and flashing lights. Eli, towering over the pavement, had to adjust his gait carefully to avoid startling pedestrians and vehicles. Despite his size, the gentle giant moved with surprising grace, guided by Buddy's steady presence and the clear signs of caution on every street. As they progressed, the city's hidden gems began to reveal themselves. They passed by a vibrant urban garden, a green oasis nestled between towering buildings. Here, community members tended to colorful flower beds and shared vegetables with one another. Intrigued by the lush greenery and the friendly smiles of the gardeners, Buddy paused to greet them with playful barks, while Eli watched in awe as the simple beauty of nature unfolded in the heart of the concrete jungle. Their journey continued along narrow alleys lined with murals and street art, each piece telling its own story of hope and resilience. The walls, splashed with vibrant colors and bold messages, resonated with the duo's own narrative of overcoming isolation and fear. Local residents, captivated by the sight of a tiny puppy guiding a young elephant calf, stepped out of their homes to offer water, food, or just a warm smile. In these moments, Buddy and Eli not only traversed physical distances but also bridged the gap between disparate worlds: urban citizens and wild creatures, strangers and newfound friends. Amidst their exploration, they found solace in the gentle hum of a community center that doubled as a shelter for animals and people in need. Here, soft music played in the background and the aroma of freshly baked bread mingled with the scent of hope. Volunteers, always ready to help, provided the duo with a brief respite from the unpredictable urban environment. While Buddy frolicked with a group of friendly children, Eli was gently comforted by a kind caretaker who offered him a cool drink and reassuring pats. Every step of their journey was punctuated by small acts of kindness and moments of discovery. The urban landscape, once a daunting labyrinth, gradually transformed into a canvas of shared human experience and natural beauty. As Buddy and Eli moved together, their contrasting sizes and origins seemed to complement the diversity of the city itself, a symbol of unity amid chaos. In navigating this world of wonders, the unlikely pair not only charted a path through busy streets and hidden parks, but also mapped out a new way of looking at life, a reminder that every obstacle is an opportunity for connection and every unfamiliar corner holds the promise of a bright, shared future. As dusk turned to evening, the cityscape softened into a blend of amber streetlights and long shadows, marking the end of a day filled with unexpected adventures for Buddy and Eli. Their journey, which had started in uncertainty and isolation, was now drawing to a close with a promise of hope and renewal. The duo eventually arrived at a community animal rescue center, a place that had been set up by local volunteers to care for lost and displaced animals. The center was a beacon of compassion nestled in a renovated warehouse, its doors open to anyone in need of help. When Buddy and Eli stepped through those doors, they were greeted by kind eyes and warm smiles from caregivers and volunteers who had heard the miraculous tale spreading through the neighborhood. Inside the center, the atmosphere was one of gentle reassurance. Soft music played in the background, and the air was filled with the comforting aroma of fresh coffee and homemade treats prepared by community members. Volunteers worked tirelessly, ensuring that every animal was safe, well-fed, and treated with love. For Eli, this was a stark contrast to the cold, confusing streets of the city, a safe haven where his massive frame was met with gentle hands and understanding hearts. The rescue team quickly recognized the significance of Buddy and Eli's bond. While they began the process of locating Eli's circus family, who had been frantically searching for their missing calf, they also made arrangements to care for Buddy, whose loyal nature had proven invaluable throughout their journey. In the waiting room, posters and digital displays showcased the duo's story, turning their adventure into a source of inspiration for others. Neighbors and visitors alike came to marvel at the sight, a tiny puppy snuggling against the side of a gentle elephant calf, their eyes conveying an unspoken promise of friendship and resilience. Over the next few days, the center became a hub of activity. Social media posts about Buddy and Eli garnered widespread attention, and soon messages of support poured in from across the region. Volunteers organized fundraising events and community gatherings to celebrate the pair and to raise awareness for animal welfare. Children painted murals of their heroic journey, while local musicians composed soft tunes in their honor. Every corner of the rescue center echoed with a renewed sense of purpose and unity, a community brought together by a heartwarming encounter. Despite the joyous celebrations, a bittersweet air lingered as efforts continued to reunite Eli with his circus family. The caregivers, while overjoyed by the incredible bond between the two, knew that Eli belonged with those who could provide him with a life in a proper habitat. As the reunion day approached, emotions ran high. The farewell was tender and filled with gentle reassurance that even though they would soon part ways, the memories and lessons of their journey would forever bind them. On the day of the reunion, the entire community gathered outside the rescue center. The circus family, relieved and teary-eyed, embraced Eli with open arms, promising to cherish his newfound independence while always remembering the kindness that had kept him safe. Buddy, though small and left behind, received an outpouring of love and recognition for his unwavering loyalty and bravery. In a quiet corner of the celebration, the puppy's eyes met Eli's for one last time, a silent exchange that spoke of friendship beyond words, transcending distance and difference. As the crowd dispersed and the city night embraced them, Buddy continued his new life at the rescue center, serving as a living reminder that compassion and courage can create extraordinary bonds. The story of Buddy and Eli had not only redefined their own destinies but had also inspired a community to look beyond differences and to embrace the beauty of unexpected friendships. Their legacy, marked by a heartwarming encounter and a hopeful new beginning, would echo through the city, a timeless tale of unity, resilience, and the enduring power of love.